We are going to be looking at the stage 1 of child development from the perspective of anthroposophy. Stage 1 is from birth till age 7, and we are going to be covering the concepts of rhythm, routine, imagination, play, imitation, and modeling. The first 7 years of life. This stage of development focuses on establishing a foundation for lifelong well-being, emphasizing the natural rhythms and the power of imitation in a nurturing environment. So it becomes essentially important for us as parents and for us as teachers as well to create the environment that is nurturing every child in our care. Establishing this nurturing environment lays that foundation needed for lifelong learning, lifelong well-being, which is aligned with nature, the natural rhythms, through the power of imitation. So utmost care must be taken to establish such environment. How do we create stability through rhythm? Children thrive on predictable daily rhythms. They need to know what is in store for them every single moment. Else, they will feel unsettled and they keep questioning us as to what's coming up next. To avoid it, we set a daily rhythm. This is consistent and it fosters a sense of security and trust. So, for example, the children know that we begin the day by waking up, then we brush our teeth, then we have the breakfast or a glass of milk, followed by taking bath and then getting ready, coming to school, doing activities in a certain order while in school. And once they go home, probably clean up, have a glass of milk, and then maybe do an activity or read a book, go for an evening walk, have dinner with everybody, and go to bed as parents tell them a story. Now, if I repeat such a set of tasks every single day, there will be a sense of security and trust that develops. Of course, things may change a little bit, but by and large, we need to follow that rhythm. So the pillars of the day would be meal times and bedtime rituals. So for example, we can have meals like lunch, dinner, along with breakfast and evening snack time around the same time every day. And bedtime would be brush your teeth, read a book, go to bed, not later than 9 p.m. every day. When we practice this, it anchors the child. What is the power of play? Play is just not a pastime. It is going to be a free play where children have the freedom to invent and use the materials in whichever way they imagine, which nurtures the creativity and problem solving. So if you just observe the children how they use the materials, you will see the variety ways in which children develop the rules of the game, through which they are learning the problem solving abilities. Through play, children explore the world and their inner selves. They bring about different concepts, components together. And according to how their inner self is driving them, they organize this play. Maybe with friends, maybe with adults, maybe with toys, and sometimes even without toys. Children do become super creative. And also, this provides an open ended exploration time. When we give them materials like wooden blocks or fabric, just pieces of fabric, pieces of blocks, pieces of popsicle sticks, twigs, stones, rocks, marbles, you name it. You just give them enough of them and see them explore. Children also learn predominantly through imitation, especially in the first stage of child development until about age 7. Young children absorb behaviors, gestures, and attitudes from adults. So we need to be extremely careful when we behave a certain way, when we talk a certain way, when we use certain words at certain times with certain people, because children are observing and they will imitate. They will also imitate the gestures, the way we use our eyes, rolling our eyes, or throwing up our arms in frustration, or hanging your head down in depression. All of these are absorbed by the children. And also the attitude, are we helping somebody? Are we supporting? Or are we backbiting? Are we talking about people? Every move that adult makes in their actions, in their feelings, in their thinking is absorbed by the child. This throws a large responsibility on adults to be extremely mindful of how they carry themselves around children. So, modeling purposeful actions and positive attitudes shapes the child's character. An extremely important message that we must always carry in our hearts. Being very mindful, very purposeful of anything that we do, rather than mindlessly walking around or talking around, carrying those positive attitudes. This shapes the child's character, which is their lifelong asset. We need to be extremely aware of ourselves, being mindful of my words and actions as children mirror them. We wonder where children are picking up the bad language from. It is from children imitating the significant people in their lives around them every single day. We being their parents, we being their teachers, they spend a lot of time around us. So it becomes essential that we use the right words, we use the right actions. How do we nurture the whole child? It's about creating a balanced environment which supports physical, emotional, and spiritual growth, where there is action involved, where there are feelings expressed, and where there are thoughtful discussions, talks, storytelling, activities, out in the nature, observing birds and animals and flowers and rocks. All of this create a balanced environment. Connection to nature is very important. Doing artwork is extremely important, and meaningful tasks like household chores, folding, stacking, cleaning, mopping, sweeping, everything you name it that an adult does, if children can follow them through the day, that enriches the child's development. They develop not only skills but also the right attitudes and gestures. A gentle guidance and love create a foundation for future stages. So the first stage of child development becomes extremely crucial for us to be there for the child 100% every single day. What is the role of parents in early child development? By establishing a rhythm, having a predictable routine, imagination, the scope for children to imagine, the open-ended play that we offer children, and through ourselves, carrying ourselves with right speech, action, and thoughts, and modeling that behavior, we build a strong foundation for the child's future. Our presence, actions, and care shape the child's world and potential that they become a beautiful human being. Finally, we need to honor the sacred task of guiding the young child. Let's be that adult worthy of imitation. That child can base their trust completely in us and grow up into a healthy, happy human being.